Hey everybody, put my glasses on so I can see the chat. Let's see, let's try to get this camera. There we go. Let's see. Okay, YouTube says, new pin chat. You can now pin a message to the top of your live chat for viewers to read. Got it. Hey everybody. Let's slide this over here a little bit. I'm with BB and little Micah here. So, had a crazy health scare with Micah, which I wanted to talk about. I think anytime we share our experiences with illness, it can help everybody. You want to come out of this? Okay, let's focus on the true star. So, welcome everybody. As always, if you want to put in the comments where you're from, where you're at right now, it's always interesting, I think. See if I can slide this back a little bit so my head's not completely cut off. There, that's better. Okay, so let's talk about Micah. As with most of my piggies, they have usually come from really horrible situations. While we're telling the story, I will give Micah some healthy snackers. Why is this stuck? It's like I cut it open, but it didn't open all the way. So now I'm gonna have to open it like a rat with my teeth. If I can even do that. Okay. There, we're in. Flavor of the week is apple pea flake. I interrupted Micah while he was eating his pellets, so I don't know if he even wants this. We'll put it here for him. Okay, so overall, Micah is okay, but I wanted to explain what happened and where we go from here. So Micah was found with his brother and with 20 plus other guinea pigs in a giant cardboard box on the side of the road in Palmdale, California, which is the high desert. Now this was May, so like now it's starting to get hot, but it could be a whole lot hotter. But he was found, well, maybe it wasn't May. There's so many piggies that I've rescued from that shelter, so don't quote me on that. I'm not sure exactly what time of year it was now. I'd have to go back and look. But a good Samaritan picked up the box, brought them to the shelter, and there was a whole bunch of newborn babies. I made a video about that. And he was sort of like this 1 to 2 month old, probably 2 months old. So he was a little bit bigger than a baby, and he was one of the last ones that I was able to get, and I couldn't leave him behind. And he's been with me ever since, so a couple years now. Thank you, Karin. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so the other day I noticed that he was whimpering in pain and sort of hunched over a little bit. And as many of you know, that is a classic sign of a stone. And his appetite's good, his poops are good, but he was whimpering, and I picked him up like this, and I sort of went right here, and you can sort of feel the urethra, and right here there's this little bump kind of right there. And I thought, oh no, if he has a urethra stone, if there's a stone lodged in his urethra that is in many ways, I mean, other than inoperable tumors, that's like one of like the worst things that can happen that you can find for guinea pigs. And the thought of that and how painful that was, I discovered this on a Monday night, I think, last week. Well, this week. Boy, it's Friday already. So Monday night I discovered this. Tuesday I couldn't sleep all night. My brain was going in circles, looping around, trying to figure out, okay, if I get up really early, I can drive to the emergency vet. My emergency vet's 3 hours away, and they don't take appointments. And so I was like just tossing and turning and thinking, okay, I'll get up early, I'll see what I can do. And I volunteer on Wednesdays, so I thought maybe I could get there really, really early, drop him off, and then go do my appointments and then pick him up later, because I volunteer at the LA Guinea Pig Rescue. And so I called them in the morning, and I said, this is what I think is happening. I think there's a urethral stone. I thought that, we get some x-rays, and then we could potentially flush that stone back into the bladder. And as long as there aren't like a whole bunch of stones or signs of like stones or sludge or stuff in the kidneys, potentially creating much more stones, then we could, the stone removal surgery would be an option. He's a young boy. My philosophy for males with stones, in general, girls can actually pass remarkably large stones. Saskia has a number of videos where she's able to coax pretty shockingly large stones out of the urethra. I've seen her do it. I have talked to people via email through this process. When it comes to boys, it's much more difficult for them to pass the stones, so surgery is usually the only option. And if a piggy is strong, if their eyes are bright, if they're otherwise, still have that spark and that willingness to fight, then I want to give them every chance. What happens then is you have to wait and see if their body continues to produce stones at an accelerated rate, because you can't put guinea pigs through repeated stone surgeries like every month or two. By the time they finish healing from one, there's another stone already there. And that's what happened to Ron. And that's when you're faced with a really difficult decision, where compassion and quality of life questions really come into it. But for that first stone, guinea pigs heal remarkably quickly. They are just so tough and just amazing like that. So not having had the x-ray, that was where I was headed. I called them in the morning. They said, we can't, if you bring him at like 6 or 7 in the morning, they will just be seen by an emergency vet. Our exotic vets don't get in until noon, which kind of sucks. You've got an emergency clinic, a very expensive clinic. It's called Access in Culver City. If you are in the LA area and you have an emergency, they're always open and they're very good. That's where BB went. Um, but the fact that I'd have to get there at noon and just wait around until an exotic vet could see them, by the time you get the x-rays, by the time you do the flushing, like the whole day would pass and I wouldn't necessarily have a solution. So I said, okay, I'm going to see what I can figure out. I called my other vet and pleaded with them to squeeze me in, sometime early in the morning for an x-ray. Because I passed by there on my way to the rescue, and they said if I could get in before 10, then there was a good likelihood that they could get him an x-ray before. Actually, Mike is very small. It's the camera. Well, he's not extremely small, but he is a smaller piggy. What was he? He was like, oh, here's something funny. So uh, I was able to squeeze him in. No, the funny thing was, man, I've been to the vet so many times. With Allie, I brought Allie to the vet last week for her mammary tumor, well, her lump removal surgery. And when they put her in the scale, I said, let's play prices right. Let's guess the weight. And I guessed 1081. And on the nose, she was 1081. I couldn't believe it. And they were very impressed. The vet techs thought I was like, I happened to be wearing my guinea pig whisperer t-shirt. So I was she got extra lettuce for making me look so good. But back to Micah. So I got there at 9:30. They were able, oh my God. That was Onyx flipping his bowl. So I got there at 9:30 and I dropped him off. They were able to get the x-ray done by 11, and thankfully, hallelujah, there was no stone. So that means we don't have to do the flushing, we don't have to do any surgery. But why is he in pain? Right? So this is where I try not to get demonetized. So bear with me as I sort of skirt around words that may or may not raise flags in the algorithm. So, and maybe I can even just show it easier. So Micah has a condition in his boy parts, which I've heard of, but and I've seen it at the rescue, but I've never had a pig with this condition where there is extra tissue. Let's just see if he'll let me. So everything looks pretty normal here, although maybe it looks a little inflamed. Okay, hold on. So, but when you pop this out, you'll notice that there's all this extra material here, all this extra tissue. You see that? And it's not that it's really dirty, because I'm cleaning him several times a week. So they call this cauliflower, which not sound appetizing as it is. But so he has all this extra tissue. And what happens is it gets inflamed. Now, if you tuck it back in, it looks pretty normal. And it gets pretty gross. So what happens is all that extra tissue prevents the pee from really coming out easily. And when you pop it out, you'll notice that oftentimes the tissue around and the tip there is inflamed and it hurts him. And so he's often looking very uncomfortable. Now, for the past 6 months at least, since I've realized that he has this condition, probably closer to a year, every week or a couple times a week, I will wash it very well with soap and water, and I'll put bacitracin or triple antibiotic ointment all around, and I'll clean it off very good. And when I do, he whimpers and cries. And so I asked the vet, is there, I've never heard of guinea pig circumcision. The vet said that might be more difficult, more painful. They said that there may be ways to use a laser to remove some of the extra tissue. I'm just trying to figure out a solution. Now, they did recommend putting him on a course of antibiotics, so we're going to start that. Some Bactrim, but compared to having a stone, compared to multiple stones, having to make a bad, horrible decision about what that would mean long term, I'm so relieved. I'm fine doing this constant cleaning. I just know that it's very uncomfortable for him. So I haven't noticed the rods or any kind of issues like that. It's really just, I think, for him, the excess tissue gets dirty in there. And I think it would probably be a whole lot worse if he wasn't on fleece. So at this point, we're going to try the antibiotics, but it's a reoccurring thing. I don't think a course of antibiotics is going to prevent this from happening, because the fact is, where, he's low to the ground, he's always going to be rubbing. Yes, it does seem a little extreme. If there was a way, so they're talking about a laser that might be able to remove some extra tissue. What the healing process of that, I don't know. But we all do know that guinea pigs are remarkably fast healers. And if there was a way to do something that would be uncomfortable in the short term, but give him years of relief, that's my job to decide what's in his best interest. And Bengal, if it was me, I would go for the short-term discomfort for the long-term positive result. Because really, piggies can heal in just a couple days. So, okay, Alexis says, in human males, it's called Formosus. Louis XVI was thought to have it, and circumcision was the recommended treatment, even in the 18th century. Yeah. So that was my intuitive thing. If there was a way to do camera drop number 1. Yeah. Thank you for the vote of confidence. Yes, a diluted betadine flush could be good. Just a couple squirts in there. Like I said, I'm using soap and water, cleaning it out, and then I put a bacitracin. So bacitracin versus antibiotic. Oftentimes, antibiotic will say on the package triple antibiotic ointment. So they're using 3 different antibiotic in that ointment. But it generally, it works on the surface. Whereas my understanding of bacitracin is a single antibiotic ointment, but it has the ability to penetrate the cell wall. That's my understanding. And so for something like this, and I generally will do either, I'll do one and then the other each time. So that was my scare with him. And you know, you get a guinea pig from a pet store or anywhere, and you know, you want them to have the best life. But all of my boys have come from, with the exception, well, I don't have any boys now that were born here, but like with the exception of Nate and Billy, all of my piggies, and the first two, which were my pet store mistakes, which we haven't talked about much on the channel. I should do a video going back in time showing my first pair of piggies as an adult, Louie and Oliver, who I still miss very much. But the point is, these piggies have gone through so much difficulty, often pain, often discomfort and struggle to get to a safe place. And I do my best to give them security and, you know, a proper diet, medical care, everything. Oh, interesting. Tuck's hemorrhoid pads could help with the swelling. Interesting. It does get inflamed, and that has to do with the infection, I believe. But I'll look into that. That could be maybe an easy solution, to wipe it at the end after I clean it. But it just kills me that he's not feeling good, and there's no like medical solution that can solve his discomfort. So, other than just being very diligent about keeping him clean, he's not much of a purrer or a rumbler. You know, how often he's crying depends on, you know, just this cycle. So, he was whimpering for a couple days there, and I washed everything off, cleaned it up, and then he was quiet for another 2 days, 3 days. He's still been pretty quiet and pretty good, but I thought he had a stone, so I was like scrambling to get him into the vet to get an x-ray. But knowing that this is a repeated thing, I just, whenever I have bandwidth to give him a bath or to clean him off, I'll just do it, because I'd rather prevent this. CBD could be an option. I wonder, would I put it directly on that area, or would I put it on his ear? But ultimately, keeping him clean on a regular basis, I guess it's not much different than a pig that has an impaction. Obviously, it's like a different location, but it still requires very diligent daily maintenance, which I'm more than happy to do. Thank you, Amanda, for the super chat. Miss Linda says CBD would go on the ear. Now, it's been my experience that you can put CBD like on bumblefoot, right on the foot. You can put it on ankles or places where there is active arthritis. It can be good for healing tissue. So I wouldn't be surprised if you could put it in both places. So that's that. That's the scare. I don't think that I can do this live stream for like 3 hours today. So we'll wrap it up in like an hour or so. Because I got a couple cages still I need to get cleaned. Um, I have a lot of aspirations for the day. Um, Tomorrow I'm going to try to get to the ocean if possible. Um, I wanted to make an announcement that my patrons already knew about, which is one of the things. If I can get my laundry done, if I can get a couple cages cleaned, um, I've already fed everybody hay and pellets, and I've refilled water bottles this morning. So, um, if I can, if I can finish the rest of my piggy chores, um, here's an announcement. You know, they tell you in the creative world, and anytime you're trying to do something that is important to you, that is of impact, and I may have learned this from the War of Art, not to be confused with Sun Tzu's The Art of War. This is The War of Art, which is a really fascinating and great book about how to achieve things. It's about art and the creative process, but it also works with anything, like whether or not you want to start a new good habit, you want to get into a positive exercise routine, you want to start a company, anything that you could end up procrastinating about, or that you would feel overwhelmed about. The War of Art gives you the toolkit to achieve it, as well as the understanding about why you feel the resistance about this. Now, I have the audiobook and it's in my Google Drive. So anybody who's interested, if you want to email me, I could send you a link to the audiobook that I've already downloaded and you can listen to it. Otherwise, I highly recommend picking up a copy of it. It's great for your personal library. It is one of the main reasons why I was able to finish my book, The Cage Mates. The author is Stephen Pressfield, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but the reason why that matters is I want to make this announcement public. I mentioned it to my patrons so that, you know, this is all this build up for something that really is a little bit selfish in a way, or, but as I explained to the patrons, when I wrote and illustrated the first book, Cage Mates, I only was able to do that on days when I had completed all of my chores. You know, I'd grab an hour to draw here or there. And so not only does the book represent a certain amount of commitment to drawing, to writing, to following through with a personal project, but it also represents every day, every drawing that I drew was after or on a day when all of my piggy chores were completed. And of course they have to be. But so there's plenty of days where all I ever get done is making a video. This is Micah right here. There are plenty of days where all I ever get done is cleaning a couple cages, clipping some nails, making a video, and then cooking myself dinner before I fall asleep. Try to get a workout in. But if I'm able to also do something fun like drawing, that to me is a personal achievement. So I want to announce that I've completed like the 15th draft, the final draft of the new Cage Mates book. This is the second book in the series. We're talking about the writing process. So hopefully BB and I can spend the rest of the summer drawing and bringing that story to life through illustrations. Uh, all the characters, Geo and Rusty and Hamster Maria, and of course the pink cockatoo Floyd, and even a whole bunch of new characters. Um, I'm really excited about this new story. I hope it's fun and funny and also filled with a lot of lessons that I learned in the rescue world. Now, if you read the first book, you know that a lot of the illustrations, a lot of the characterizations are like a negative learning thing. It's like when you have the mom that comes into the store that wants to find some starter pets to teach her kids responsibility. As an author, I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm saying that's what you shouldn't do. And by illustrating some of these things that have gotten on my nerves, I think we can take these learning lessons by other people's mistakes, have some fun. You know, it's a little catharsis to make some of these characters and poke fun at them. So there are a few of those. I've been doing the draft revisions for months. And every time I would read it, I would find something that I wanted to change, something that I wanted to fix. I finally went through the last draft, and aside from, just changing the words here or there, I actually was sitting back and saying, wow, this is a really fun, it's going to be longer, a fun story. Yes, I guess Leah missed What's Up with Micah. If you guys are just joining us, the TLDR is, I thought Micah had a stone. He has been dealing with this cauliflower weenie issue. X-rays indicated he didn't have a stone. It's just the inflammation from his situation, which I'm just going to have to continue to be diligent. The vet said some antibiotics would be good. I mean, I thought I felt a stone in his urethra. And because oftentimes Saskia will say, especially with girls, you can feel that stone as it's moving. And so I thought I was going to be faced with some really upsetting news. So good thing that it's not, because he's just way too young. So real quick, wrapping up the Cage Mates second installment. I hope to be sharing drawings in progress with the patrons. Maybe some on my Instagram. But this book is looking like it's going to be 150 or more pages. It just depends on how many drawings I can cram on each page. I love having full page illustrations. If you guys have never read the book series The Bad Guys, when I initially conceived of doing a comic, it was going to be comic book size, and comic book layout. Thank you, Lel, for the super chat. Thank you so much. I discovered The Bad Guys and how it's a smaller illustrated book. Thank you, Lel. Have a good one. When I read The Bad Guys, it was like full page illustrations. Sometimes there'd be 3 panels in a page. the instead of a comic that is like 20 pages, that's very, very, very dense, the pages were, there's way more pages. It's like a, more than 100-page book, but you still can read it as fast as a comic. And I loved something about that layout, about that structure, that seemed a little bit more freeing. And so that's what I did. That's how the Cage Mates book turned out. If I have a book with 300 drawings and I do a solid one drawing on every page, that's going to be a very long book. If I can cram multiple drawings into each page, then obviously it can be a much shorter book. And I just, the script, the draft is 17 pages, and I'll sort of go through and kind of divide that up. So I'm starting the fun, exciting part of going through the script, doing all of the rough drawings, and bringing it to life. I don't know about you guys, but if I was to say something like a rainbow-colored balloon floating in the blue sky in between fluffy white clouds, can you see that in your mind? There are plenty of people out there, apparently, that cannot see that. Like if I say a block of Swiss cheese with one slice missing, can you see it in your mind? When you read a novel, does it sort of play out in your mind's eye? It does for me. That's why I can't control how fast I read a book, right? If I'm reading a novel, what happens to me, which is why I love it, is, and this doesn't happen when you read a comic book or an illustration, but when I read words, the words, after a paragraph, the words disappear, and all of a sudden it's like I'm watching a movie inside my head. And so when I read my script, or when I'm conceiving the story, I see it in my mind. So now all I have to do, which not an easy task, but it's easy, it's just requires diligence. I read the script, I watch it as it's happening in my mind, and then I have to draw it out, and then of course refine it and do the follow through. So Leah says that she'll be doing screenshots and posting them to Patreon. So if you guys are not members of Patreon, and thank you, by the way, Leah, for congratulations on your 11-month channel membership. Really, believe it or not, you guys, the channel memberships and the Patreon, it is my main source of income. It's what allows me to volunteer, to rescue, to spend all this time taking care of these guys. Welcome, King Homeschool. Thank you. King Homeschool says, this channel is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. By the way, if you guys missed my recent video, well, everybody who's on the live stream probably saw the video. I initially called it 5 Ways to Spoil Your Guinea Pigs. Then I changed it to What Guinea Pigs Really Want. For some reason, most of the regular viewers did not watch that video. And I'm really proud of it because I thought it was really, really funny. And the feedback from the people who watched it said that they really enjoyed it. So I encourage you, if you haven't watched that video, to watch it. Pipsqueak is on the thumbnail now. Wendy says, imagine a book you're reading is much more difficult for people with autism. Now, I know that autism is a spectrum, I would think that many people with autism, now I don't know the correlation between these different, because autism in many ways can involve some superpowers. So I don't know. I don't have enough experience with autism. If anybody in the comments or in the chat wants to explain what that's like, but because I know it's different for everybody. I also read some interesting article about people who do not have an inner voice. So, like, you're laying down to sleep, and the voice in your head says, "Oh, don't forget to get trash bags at the grocery store. Don't forget, to pick up some lettuce tomorrow." I have that voice, but apparently there are some people who do not have an inner dialogue voice. I think it's fascinating. If I had to choose between not having an inner dialogue and not having the inner pictures, I don't know. I'd probably, because I was thinking, man, not having that constant inner chatter, that would be so peaceful. But they did say that people who don't have the inner dialogue have, they see in pictures, they think in pictures. I think both are pretty good. Oh, wow. Manliest man says, I don't have an inner voice. Oh, that's interesting. When you're thinking, can you think about like lyrics to a song? Like if you listen to your favorite song, can you hear it play inside your mind? I think it's fascinating. King Homeschool. This is BB. He's been with me for how long? 13 years, I think. BB is going to turn 20 this year. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but apparently, let's see. In 2011 he was 7. So we can do the math on that. Sherry says, thank you so much for your videos. You're very welcome. All right, so if you guys want to ask, you guys have any questions, piggy care questions, now of course, you can always send them through the contact page on my website. That's where I prefer to get the correspondence. Oh, Sherry says her 3-year-old piggy just passed away from a huge bladder stone. I'm so sorry. The only thing that I can say about bladder stones, other than what I said about trying for surgery, making a hard decision if the bladder stones keep coming back, is there is an herb that many people swear by called shillentong. And you can find it on Amazon, SHIL, I think there's 2 L's, LING, or maybe there's no G, TONG, shillentong. And you'll see it's in a blue box, and when you read the reviews, many of these reviews are about guinea pigs and how it can break up stones, it can prevent stones, and there's a review that explains how you dose it. It's a little pill, you dissolve it in water, and then you give it via oral syringe. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sherry. I wonder if the vet in San Diego is the same vet that they use at We Companions. Carrie says, yes, the first time ever catching the real life Scotty. Woo! What's the cockatiel's name? Yes, Carrie is a new viewer. This is BB. BB, you pooped on my shoulder. Surprise, surprise. This is BB. Yes, stones are just so heartbreaking. Micah, who's this? Be nice to him, BB. He had a tough week. He had a tough week. Ow! BB. You ready to dance? BB. Too early to dance? Here. BB. Dance, baby. There are dedicated BB dancing videos in the shorts. So go to the shorts and check those out. What do you think, BB? It's Friday! It's Friday! I'm beatboxing and I try to figure out what beats make him dance the most. I think he really likes that super fast, relax, techno beat. By the way, you guys, BB is almost completely blind at this point. He's got like a cataract. I think he can see better out of this eye, but which means I have to give him water. I've tried positioning different water so that he can find it easy, but essentially he's really dependent on me. Yay, hey Saskia. Yes, so tomorrow is the raffle. There's a lot of really, really good stuff from many of our guinea pig shops and community friends. BB. Dance, BB. Yay, and we got Southern California Guinea Pig Rescue in here. It's a party. Sherry, I got you. There are two really good types of clippers that I like. They are in the taming section of my guinea pig care guide. If you pick one of those are affiliate links. They help the rescue They help the channel. They help my ability to volunteer and to transport and do all those things. So it goes to my rescue efforts fund. Um, the green bells we like, and there's another one which are actually really good for even thicker nails. The green bells are the softest, sharpest, really most professional nail clippers that you can get. But when it comes to like a really, really thick toenail, they sometimes are not big enough. And there's this other pair that actually SoCal Guinea Pig Rescue turned me on to. So both of those are listed there. So check that out. And if you buy it through those links and anything else that's already in your cart, it helps the rescue and it helps my rescue efforts. So, BB, you want to have some lunch? Okay, I'm going to put BB over here. BB, eat your lunch. Eat your lunch. So when BB has his own language, which took me a while to learn, but when I say, that usually means there's something for you to either eat or to drink. Eat it, BB. No? Okay, come back. He's not ready. I noticed my piggy's nail break and he eats them. Is that normal? I wouldn't be worried too much about that. But I am curious how a guinea pig's nail would break on their own. If you're giving them a high quality pellet, enough variety of veggies, like guinea pigs shouldn't be on high calcium, but they certainly, I would imagine, like other mammals, need a certain amount of calcium for nails and bones and hair and all that stuff. Vitamin C, you might, if you're not already supplementing with Child Life liquid vitamin C, I'd make sure that complete diet your piggies are getting 50 milligrams of vitamin C. Child Life liquid vitamin C, it's in that little brown bottle, and you can see it in the diet section of my care guide, a link to it. Vitamin C cookies are okay, but they're pretty expensive. In one bottle, you get 118 doses of Child Life liquid vitamin C, 118 doses of 50 milligrams. I would say anywhere from half of a syringe to a full syringe for piggies is totally fine to give every day. It's a great way to ensure they're getting extra vitamin C. Vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin. So you may notice when you take these electrolyte mixes or these vitamin C emergencies, they usually have way more than your daily amount of vitamin C. And your body will just flush out what it doesn't need. The only two concerns, Sherry, thank you so much for the super chat. Sherry says, thank you for your help. You've literally saved my piggies' lives. Well, you've literally saved them. We're all in this together. So, thank you. 2 reasons why you wouldn't want to give more than 100 milligrams of vitamin C a day is for older piggies with arthritis, it can exacerbate arthritis, and there may be some evidence that it can also increase stone formation. And I've talked with vet techs at the Exotic Animal Vet Center in Pasadena, and they were saying it's one of these, it's balance. Guinea pigs need vitamin C or they'll get scurvy. Too much vitamin C isn't good for them. If you have a guinea pig that is prone to stones, do you reduce vitamin C? Vitamin C does so much for healing, and it's just a very important part of guinea pigs' diets. So you have to sort of find a balance if there are piggies that are prone to stones or older piggies with arthritis. But as long as you stay into that 25 to 50 milligrams per day, if you're giving lots of veggies, 25 milligrams of additional vitamin C is probably great. The problem with vitamin C fortified pellets, well, you should be giving your guinea pigs high quality guinea pig pellets. They are all fortified with vitamin C. But you don't know how much pellets your piggies are eating in a day. You don't know if the vitamin C, unless you send it out for third-party testing, you don't know how much of that vitamin C remains viable. So, because it's water soluble and you can flush it out, that's what I would do is 25 to 50. My older pigs, I give them 25 to 50 every day. Okay, Sherry's got a fish question. My 3-year-old goldfish passed. When I went to take it out, I have hundreds of baby fish in my tank. My fish was single. Is it possible that she made babies without a mate? I'm not aware of that happening in... like you literally have one goldfish and now you have hundreds of baby fish? Never heard of anything like that. Hi, Pam. But now I must do some research. That does not make any sense to me. You've only ever had one goldfish. And you're 100% sure? Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Carrie. You're 100% sure that since the goldfish died, mosquitoes didn't lay eggs in there? Yeah. If this is a goldfish tank, yeah. My inclination would be that maybe they are mosquito larvae or something else. Many tanks with planted stuff can have little creatures in them. So, and that could also may have something to do with the reason why the goldfish died. But an alive, healthy goldfish, in fact, that's why a lot of people put goldfish in outdoor ponds, because they will eat the larvae, they'll eat anything at the surface, they're voracious, and they keep anything like that. In fact, in many places, you can't have bodies of water, you can't have a pond unless you've got some kind of fish in there preventing that from becoming mosquito infested. Okay. Yeah, Micah's being very, very good. He doesn't want this cookie. You don't want this cookie. Sorry. I'm trying to get him to trust me. Okay, BB, I'm going to dip this cookie in your water. That's what I love about these healthy snackers. These are very important to keep in your emergency kit for guinea pigs with tooth issues, because dipping it or running it under the sink for 1 second and it can become very soft. It also, I think, releases some of those flavors. Let's let it soften for a minute here. I don't have any experience with coconut fiber charcoal bedding, but it sounds fancy. It sounds expensive too. I really am glad I made the transition to fleece. Did you pee? Nope, not yet. Switching to fleece was one of the best things, especially now that there's air conditioning here and I keep the windows closed during the summer. Okay. Now let's slide this back. Nope, we're as slid back as we can. Okay. Yes, we have a true mystery on our hands as far as Sherry's fish tank. That's a really good question. Dosey Doodle Bear Girl. Dosey Doodle Bear Girl. Asks, who are my oldest piggies? And then I want to address Alexa's comment. My oldest piggies right now, just as a guess, are Pipsqueak, who is over 6, and gosh, he doesn't look a day over 3, right? Pipsqueak may be the oldest. Gizmo is also probably 5 to 6. Hard to know because he was several years old when I rescued him. Here, try it. Try it. Grape is also probably 4, 5. Hard to know with him also because he was huge and full grown when I got him. Okay, I'm gonna just focus. Number 2, I'm gonna focus the camera on these guys. Put the phone closer so I can look at the chat and use my finger to slide. Okay, so Alexa says, I've been focusing on giving my girls veggies with higher vitamin C and low calcium for nearly a month to combat pea sludge. No wonder it's not making a difference. Well, I wonder, where did you get that advice? Yes, I would say filtered water is always good in general. I like the zero water filter. But when it comes to sludge, many guinea pigs will create the sludge. It's about getting it out. If you see pea sludge, and I made a video about this called pea sludge. What is it? I think is what it's called. If you see the pea sludge, that's good and bad. It's bad because it means maybe they are producing more sludge than other piggies, but it's good because it's actually coming out. You want to focus on giving them extra water, giving them just syringefuls of water. Now, I wouldn't eliminate vitamin C entirely. I'd make sure that they're getting 25 milligrams of vitamin C, like I said earlier, but giving them maybe 5 to 10 extra syringes of water every day and making sure they're as active as possible, whether that's floor time or increasing the size of the cage or removing houses that have dead ends, replacing the houses with fiddlesticks tunnels, or if they're girls, introducing a scrappy young bossy girl that can chase them around to increase their activity, to keep them hydrated, and to get that stuff moving. Yes, good point. Carrie says, at least you're trying stuff and not just ignoring it. Now, Fitz says calcium is needed to help break down these proteins. Now, okay, from what I have understood, there are 2 potential things that cause stones. It's not necessarily high calcium. What it is that oxalates cause the calcium to form into stones. But another thing is high nitrate vegetables like dark leafy greens can cause stones. That's according to the late Dr. Eva Stovals, who is a vet in Europe, and she has a study about that. I don't know if it's public, but my vet gave it to me, and I read through it, and her experience was the dark leafy greens cause stone formation. Okay. Yes, I love the zero water filter in the diet section of my care guide. I also have a link and a video explaining how the zero water filter works. Michelle says, my girls have started refusing the vitamin C cookies and it's hard to catch them to give liquid vitamin C. Yeah, it's not easy. I got some pigs that don't like it and some pigs that love it. But guess what? Pigs that don't like it, grab them, and I take that syringe and I put it on the side of their incisors and gently, slowly, I give them their vitamin C. Yes, Micah is pancaking. He's sinking into the fleece. Micah. Micah, like, oh, I was so relieved when they told me that he didn't have stones in his X-ray. I was like, the rest of the day can go crappy, and I'm just riding high on this good news. Is that vitamin C on your shopping list on your website? Child Life Liquid Vitamin C and vitamin C cookies are both listed in the diet section of my care guide. If you want to save money, you can buy 3 bottles at a time. If you only got a pair of pigs, I wouldn't worry about it because, like I said, there's 118 doses. But I got 20 some pigs here. I can go through 118 doses of vitamin C, well, obviously, in a week. Not everybody gets vitamin C every day. Okay, this is a good question. A great question. What are your thoughts on adding, Alexa asks, a small amount of unsweetened pure cranberry to their water? Now, I would say I don't add anything to my guinea pig's water overall, in general. Oh, there he goes. Did you just pee? Oh, he pooped. See, so I don't know if you saw that, but he sort of pooped and he was uncomfortable, which is why I thought, oh my gosh, does he have a stone? And I got super nervous. You want to go back? Okay, back to the question. If a vet said for a specific guinea pig with a UTI, urinary tract infection, that doing something like that could help, I would do it. I add nothing, no vitamin C, nothing to water regularly. Just like you and me, despite what these, there's all these ads for this stuff, like what's called Miro or something, these flavorings. I hate the taste of water, so I don't drink enough. It's like, who hates the taste of water? Like, what kind of a arrested development 6-year-old mentality do you have where you have to drink flavored water in order to drink water? I like fresh, clean water, and our guinea pigs do too. And anything that might potentially change the flavor of water, especially unsweetened, might prevent them from wanting to drink as much as normal. Yes, Def has a good point. Grow wheatgrass. Yes, I made some videos about growing wheatgrass. It's extremely easy. There's many easy ways to do it. Wheatgrass is a great treat, and you can grow it, you can cut it, you can regrow it, and you can also dry it out and make wheatgrass hay for your piggies. So this would be interesting to make a video or to create a collection of what additives can you add to water for specific situations, for specific illnesses. But in general, I would not, without a vet's agreement. Yeah, tap water is icky. There is, where I live in the desert, there's naturally an excess of fluoride. That's why get the zero water filter. It's like a Brita filter, but it actually works. It's called zero because it removes all dissolved solids. It removes lead. It removes all sorts of bad stuff. Now, as a treat, sure, adding something in the water that is safe for piggies, they might like a squirt or two, fine. I just wouldn't do it on a regular basis. Fresh, clean water is what we need. Fresh, clean water is what our piggies need. Yeah, I personally, I love a little lemon water. My dentist was like, you better knock it off. There was a period of time where I was squeezing lemon juice into all sorts of stuff. Yes, wheatgrass and other things, very easy to grow, really fun. You getting sick? Getting sick of being here? He has made a collection of 5 poops down here in the back. Mint is a good one. Mint tea is amazing. Micah's very chill, but he is also very skittish. I'm trying to get him to trust me. Well, I would say this, Alexa. She says many online folks say adding unsweetened cranberry can act as a preventative for UTIs. But so here's my logically, I would say this. How often do your guinea pigs, how often do you have a UTI? Giving something every day to prevent something that doesn't happen all the time seems strange. Like adding something in your water to prevent headaches or something like that, when why are you getting headaches every day? What is going on that is causing it? Now, an occasional UTI, like I cannot think of when the last time any of my pigs have had a UTI. It's been years. Now, just because your guinea pig has a UTI, it could just happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing something wrong. But I think one of the causes of a UTI could be dirty bedding. But it could be something they ate or something, I don't know. So, although it's logical to say we want to prevent disease, not cure it. The way I think you do that is by being healthy. Roar! Taking care of your piggies, making sure their cage is clean, making sure that they have a good diet and fresh, clean water. That's how you prevent illnesses. But even doing everything right, ringworm can appear, respiratory infections can appear, lumps and bumps, all of these things. That's why it's very important to learn about common illnesses, to learn how to treat them. But think about something that cures one thing could cause something else. It's all about balance. Carrie says, thank you so much, Scotty, for taking the time to talk with us and educate us. Thank you for sharing your babies with us. You're the best guinea pig daddy. Well, it's my pleasure, but I also, I'm the first person to say, I don't know if I don't know. And then I'll reach out to my rescue group. I'll reach out to other people. I'll look it up. Because I don't know it all, because things change. I recently came up with or thought about a really cool idea for a video would be going past through my old videos and looking to see what did I get wrong? What have I changed my mind on? Like, for instance, I have 100% changed my mind personally on the minimum cage size for guinea pigs. The standard literature will say 8 square feet. 8 square feet for a single. Someone is so sleepy. 8 square feet is good for a single, but 10 square feet is the bare minimum that I can ever recommend for a pair of guinea pigs. A pair of guinea pigs living in a single Midwest is too small, especially when you consider adding a house. If you absolutely must have a pair of guinea pigs in a Midwest, fiddlesticks tunnels placed in such a way that continue allowing them for the maximum flow. Remember, a 2x4 CNC cage is 10 plus square feet. A Midwest is 8 square feet. A Midwest is a 2x4 foot. Oh, you're so sleepy. People often get confused. They're like, I have a 2x4. I've got a Midwest. That's feet. A 2x4 feet is not the same as a 2x4 grid, because most grids are 14 inches. So, oh, nice. Fitz got the mid-yawn screenshot. So, okay. A 2x5 or a 2x6 is great. A 2x4 or a 2x5 for a pair of piggies is fine. Bigger is better. Yes. There are very few CNC cages that have 12 square foot grids. There are some that do. You getting antsy up here? Ready for lunch? Here. Okay. Nice Hands Feet 11 asks, where can I get a 3X bottom? I guess they're asking about like a 3, so like a 3x3, 3x4, 3x5. I don't know. You're probably going to have to order the sheets by themselves. If you go to guinea pig cages, Cagetopia, you can get multiple different colors. That's BB squawking. Yeah, go to Cagetopia and you can get multiple cage colors. You got to see what the measurement is, because a 3x is going to require what? 28, 30, 32 plus at least 4-inch sides, right? So 40, you're going to need that to be 40 inches. Usually those most of the large coroplast sheets, the ones that you can get at Home Depot, are going to be 96 by 48. So that should be wide enough to make a 3 by. Yeah. But if you are an influencer and you want a fancy color like bright pink or lavender or blue, at the LA Guinea Pig Rescue, if you come visit us, we have sheets, 96 by 48 sheets. Right now we've got blue and black. Oftentimes we'll have like a bright orange. Home Depot, you can generally only get the white. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Cagetopia. Mims, if you live in the UK, I would search on Amazon for pre-cut. Otherwise, I know Cavi, Kavee, Cavi cages are based out of the UK, and you can get all sorts of coroplast from them. Cagetopia is in the US. So if you're in the UK, I'd go for Cavi. Yeah. But if you're in the US, I'd go Cagetopia. Why are you so sleepy? Why are you so sleepy? So, oh, yes, he's had a hard day. My day is just beginning. It's getting into the 90s out here. Nice and warm outside. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna play a drinking game. Every time Micah yawns, you gotta take a drink. He's sleepy, but he doesn't trust me enough to actually fall asleep. BB, what are you eating? Let's take a look real quick at what BB's having for lunch. This can be like our little break segment. BB, let's turn the camera around. What are you eating? What you got there? BB's got broccoli and carrots. BB. We do this all day. He asks me, and then I have to say, BB. So he's got carrots and broccoli. He has a little bit of a seed mix, and he has, right now he's got fruity pellets. So they're his pellets, but they have different colors. You see your water? You see your water? See, he cannot see very well. You want some water? Grab it. That's why it's hard for me to go anywhere for more than a couple hours. Drink your water. Reach for it, BB. Reach, reach. It's right here. You almost got it. BB. Here. Reach for it. It's right there. It's right there. You almost found it. Come on, right there. Yes. Yay. Yay. You found your water. Woo, woo, woo. Because without me, he can't find his water. And then if I'm gone, like at the rescue, when I'm gone all day, he's like not drinking water. He does have his carrots and his broccoli to stay hydrated, but I worry that he can't find his water. And that makes me very, very nervous. Okay. Let's try not to drop the phone. Okay. Slide this back. Let's prop you up just a little bit, my man. Okay. I don't like that their 2x6 cage coroplast is 2x3, so there's that little wall. Yes. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't a home store in the UK. Alexa says, it's been a chaotic 3 months of trying to give a happy life to my 2 rescued sister piggies. Your knowledge and wisdom has helped so much. Thank you. You're very welcome. Yeah, and there is so much misinformation out there. And it just kills me. Because the misinformation is what directly causes people to surrender their piggies. So, that reminds me, be on the lookout for a rant video. Let me ask you guys, I'm going to post it anyways because I don't care, but if I make a video where I'm ranting about, like for instance, when as a longtime volunteer with numerous rescues, they always tell me about the people who reach out. Somebody gets a guinea pig, they know they're moving, they get a guinea pig, they want to surrender them, and they expect the rescue to just stop everything that they're doing, drive 30 miles to pick up their guinea pig. They won't give a donation, and if the rescues say, we're full, check the shelter, then they get mad. So I wanted to make a video called How to Surrender Your Guinea Pigs. And it's truthfully how to surrender your guinea pigs, but it's also a reality check for many of these often, I don't want to say selfish, but I will say self-centered people who think that they're the only person that is trying to surrender their animals today. When in reality, most rescues get hundreds of surrender requests every month, numerous surrender requests. So, Becky and Shane say, it's been a bad couple of months. We lost our first guinea pig to heart failure. Man, that was tough. I'm a nurse and no stranger to death, but it hit me hard nonetheless. Yes, heart failure can be tough because while heart disease can be treated, and heart disease, piggies with heart issues can still generally live a long, full life, depending on if you can spot it early. Many of these piggies that come into the shelter at an advanced age with heart issues are not going to fare as well as if you had your piggy and at the very first signs of heart disease, you get them on heart meds. I have an entire, very long, 45-minute detailed video about heart disease. The Exotic Animal Vet Center in Pasadena has a heart disease info sheet, which I walk through step by step. It talks about the various signs and symptoms of, sorry, the Micah's yawning is just, even in the saddest of times, a guinea pig yawn can put a little boost in your spirit. So there is a link in that video to the Exotic Animal Vet Center's info sheet on heart disease, the signs, the symptoms, the he's so tired. Many of the signs and symptoms of heart disease can appear like other things, like a respiratory infection, and also many other issues, like pigs who have heart issues can sometimes also have respiratory issues because their immune system's boosted or weakened, that is. And heart issues can decrease mobility, which could then maybe exacerbate things like a UTI or a bumblefoot. So even if it's treated early, it still is one of those things that over time will catch up. Another reason to love guinea pigs, we don't need another reason, but another reason is guinea pigs are so biologically similar to people, which is why have been tested on historically so much. Why the term guinea pig often means like a lab test animal. If you look at the main causes of death among people and guinea pigs, they're very similar: cancer, heart disease. The only difference, not to get political, it shouldn't be political, the only difference is gun deaths. Guinea pigs, thankfully, are dying, hopefully not at all, from gun deaths, where if you live in the US, gun deaths and auto accidents is pretty up there, pretty high up there. And in the very first section of my guinea pig care guide, I have a video that says 10 steps before you get guinea pigs. And it's basically a checklist of 10 things that you need to do or know before you get guinea pigs. And that last one is checking your emotional fortitude. Now, most pets, unless you're like 60 years old and you're going to get like an Amazon macaw, that's going to outlive you by 50 years. You okay? You gotta poop? Most of these pets that we have, we're going to outlive them. Sadly, and you have to take this up with your own personal deity, why there's such a disparaging difference in lifespan between the animals, and why our sweet companion animals have such short lifespans. BB, you almost closed the live. He's getting restless in his lunch dish. Get over here. Come here. So that's part of it, is having the emotional fortitude to give these guys a good life, knowing that it's for their entire life. You just pooped on my shoulder. And you have to ask yourself, is the happiness and the good times, and also the fact that there's so many animals in need of good homes, in shelters, in rescues, is doing good and doing right by them worth the heartbreak of losing them. And I think it is. And I think avoiding good things and avoiding doing good because of the potential heartache, that's no way to live. And I say this when people lose their animals or their loved ones or whoever. Death is a part of life, but we live. Start investigating quantum physics. Start investigating some of the things on the frontiers of science, especially about subatomic things and deep space things, and you'll discover that the universe is not quite as straightforward as we think it is. They've just been able to prove about quantum entanglement and various states of energy, and how matter and energy are the same. And I really think that, yes, all physical matter goes through changes. Life forms go through life and death. But this is where spirituality and science collide. Am I boring you, Micah? Is that love and the love that we create between each other, it's not physical. It exists in a dimension outside this physical reality. It permeates and penetrates the physical world, but these bonds that we form are not lost when our loved ones pass. And whether or not that's evidence of something deeper, I don't know. Another poop. But no one wants to lose. We don't want to lose our animals. I love spending every day with these guys. The piggies that I've lost, I miss terribly. I miss seeing them here. I miss holding them. But we created something together that will last. That is forever. You are getting so annoyed, huh? Come on. Why don't you want to chew this? So, foster that wonder, that curiosity, that the whole point of the mystery of life is that it's a mystery. If everything was known, if all the answers were obvious, then what would be the point? Landon says, hello, Scotty. Hey, Landon. Yes. Thank you, Robbie. Robbie says she misses baby Nate. I miss my Nate. I miss Gary. I miss all my boys. I miss Skunk. I miss Snoop. I miss Dice, Billy, Mike. As time goes on, it's just like so many of these guys. I am grateful, though, that I can go through the latest videos playlist, go through the archives, and I can watch them, watch the interactions. It sucks. I miss those guys. But so I was looking at Gary. It was like 5.5 years after I got him, a little more than that, I think, that he passed. And I thought he was about 6 to 9 months old when I got him. So he was over 6. And I gave him a good life. And I can't control his lifespan. I can't take away these illnesses that are incurable. You know, Billy had heart disease, and he was on the meds, and he was just getting older, and when Skunk passed, I had no idea that he was even sick. There was half of a carrot in his cage, and he was in the corner. So part of me thinks, did he choke on a carrot? Has a guinea pig ever died choking on a carrot? So that was a shock, because I don't know what I could have done. But I do the best I can. And if you can be honest with yourself and do the best you can, and I'm here to give them the best life. I have made mistakes. When I lost Jasper, his teeth got overgrown and I didn't notice. And so that one cuts my heart out, because I could have done something. And by the time I discovered it, it was too late. So that one I really regret so much. And that was a really difficult learning lesson. One that I shouldn't have had to make, and one that he shouldn't have had to pay for. But whenever they pass and I'm here and I can hold them, and it's from something that I can't cure, I'm grateful that at least they're with me and that they know that they're loved. And sometimes, you know, there have been situations where I've had to make the decision to let them go and take them to the vet. And that really, really hurts. But I hope when you watch the videos of the piggies that are gone, that it doesn't hurt, that you just remember them and how much you enjoyed getting to know them. You know, I'm just like, if you watch a movie that's like 10 or 20 years old or older, and there's a dog in it, you know, you just think, that dog's gone. you know? It's or it's like when you watch an old movie, you know, like every year I watch It's a Wonderful Life. And you watch that movie and you're like, everybody in this movie is dead. And you're not sad. You appreciate the gift they left behind. So, this is the world we live in. And I think you can either live in fear thinking that there's no purpose, that it's all just heartache and suffering for nothing. But if there was no purpose, then how is it that we have the ability to find purpose? A world without purpose would have no purpose, and you wouldn't be able to create your own. Like a world without opportunity, there'd be no opportunity for opportunity to make it for yourself. And so I think that if you think about the alternative, a world without death would probably be a lot worse. And like I said, follow the cutting edges of science. When a star dies, it gives birth to new stars. Yeah, Interstellar's pretty trippy. And that's based on a lot of science as well. So, but down here in this little world that we are part of, it's impossible to make sense of it. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't make sense. I think even just the simple fact that, that I was able to find BB and that our paths crossed. Right?
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Anyways, let's be happy. I think all of our piggies are a gift. What's up, Mauricio? Yes, and so part of my care guide is about learning about common illnesses, and that's the best way to give our piggies the best, long, happy life, is to be a little bit of a guinea pig hypochondriac. BB, you ready to dance? Come on, BB. Go, 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 go. Micah, you want a back massage? What does that feel like? Is he scratchy? So, about this guinea pig lifespan. Yeah, when people ask that at the rescue, it's a two-part answer. Number one is a guinea pig's lifespan, maybe 4 to 6, 5 to 7, 5 to 8. But the biggest determining factor about a guinea pig's lifespan is learning about common illnesses, catching them, and treating them early. Dosey Doodle Bear Girl says, I read the oldest piggy was 14 years and 10 months. That's amazing. Julie has a 7.5-year-old boar. That's great. Micah, Micah, you were the star. You were the star. You were the star because I'm so happy. Micah, come on. Let me scratch these. Let me give you a chin rub. A little jaw scratch. Earl Grey is 6 and he's the oldest we have. That's such a great name. I had my first Earl Grey tea when BB was in the hospital, and it's amazing. Because I'm more of a green tea kind of guy, but man, Earl Grey is so good, especially if you get 2 tea bags and you squeeze them out so that it's extra strong. Mix a regular English breakfast and Earl Grey together. Yeah, that could work. Earl Grey, it tastes like a dark tea, but it has like a hint of like um I forget what the ingredient is, but it's sort of like a tamarind, like a orange peel kind of a thing, but it's subtle. I like my tea strong, but it has that subtle hint of like orange. It's good. I like all tea. You can't go wrong with tea. Tea is just fun. If you're trying to break a habit, start making tea and do that as a ritual. No, we're in America, and I don't drink milk. Um, I wonder if almond milk would taste good with tea, probably. But no, our us Americans, we do not add milk with tea, except for like a chai tea, something like that. But yes, I don't do dairy. Yes, soy milk. I think when it comes to tea, soy milk, almond milk, coconut, oat milk probably does good. Anybody who no, I'm not allergic to dairy. I just don't want to participate. I don't want to go on it. Don't feed that beast. I'm not allergic to dairy. I'm allergic to cruelty. Many people think that dairy is not cruel, but do the research. Those are not happy cows. Yes, I do not participate in any animal consumption. You know, Saskia, when I first started volunteering, she said, "How can you rescue animals and then eat them?" And I did not have an answer. And I took it into my heart. And I changed. And I've been much better for it. I lost weight. I got energy. That conflict in my brain went away. Best decision I ever made. It's a truism, but the only thing I regret about going vegan and first going vegetarian and then going vegan, the only thing I regret is not doing it sooner. I still eat all the stuff. I still eat tacos. I still eat spaghetti. Man, a lot of the, if you're a carnivore like I am, all of those meat substitutes, I eat a big salad every day. I eat what my piggies eat, and I'm very healthy and happy and satisfied. But you get some of those meat substitutes. I like Impossible, I like Beyond, I like Gardein. I'm allergic to wheat, so some of those things I can't have. But yeah. If you saw pictures of me when I first graduated college, so I lost weight and then I gained muscle back. So corn is good, the brand corn, but it does have egg whites or eggs in it, so I don't eat that anymore. Now, the last eggs that I had were from Saskia's rescue chickens. And I wouldn't be opposed to eating eggs from rescue chickens, but after not having eggs for so long and substituting tofu, eggs are kind of gross. I've lost the taste for them. About the willpower thing is, it doesn't require willpower. Does it require willpower to not stab yourself in an eye with a pencil? No. It does not require willpower to not. Oh, I just broke. It doesn't require willpower to not eat animals if you're aligned with your conscience and you have a good sense of how to cook and diet and nutrition. So I can eat bacon, I can eat burgers, I can eat tacos, spaghetti, I can eat meatballs. I get just the vegan versions, and they're really good now. Vegan cheese, it's really good. You give up nothing, and it's actually, but that's still novelty food. But we're all on our own journey. I went for many, many years eating animals, and for the environment, for your health, and to live non-violently, best decision I ever made. It's easy. It's easy to do it when you're doing it because it's your values. And then you just have to learn about proper nutrition. So, rant over. You guys fed the beast. Micah, where do you get your protein? He's like, what are you talking about? I eat like 10 pounds of hay every day. Okay, this is a guinea pig question. So Maya, I'm ranting and okay, so Maya's question, we'll go through. Try to get back to the beginning. What do you do if your pigs won't stop fighting and we have to keep them We have kept them separate for a week. Yeah. Some guinea pigs just have to live side by side. Get it out of your head that they'll get over it. If they're boys, generally, and you got them as babies and then they start fighting, that's it. They've broken their bond. They don't trust each other. And she says, they are drawing blood sometimes, and whenever I try to get them together, they always fight. Now, two boys that don't like each other, that don't trust each other anymore, that must live side by side, you can put them together for a few minutes if it doesn't upset them too much. Wrap your hand in a towel, and you can let them rumble and chase each other for a few minutes if they don't escalate. If as soon as you put them together, they're chattering their teeth, they're lunging at each other, and they just hate each other to the point where it's just a big stress, then don't do it. Generally speaking, you don't have to block the grids. They should be able to live side by side as grid buddies. Is it a problem that they can't see each other? Well, if you can put them in two side by side cages, a minimum of 8 square feet each, like a Midwest, two Midwests next to each other, they should be able to get along through the grids without hurting each other. But if they do, if they're relentless, if they just sit all day chewing on the grids and chattering, then maybe you do need to separate them, or you need to divide it so that they can live peacefully. Hearing each other may just be enough. I don't understand why they start fighting like this after moving into an outside cage. Maya, what do you mean an outside cage? So we recommend guinea pigs should not be living outside. So it could be that they also got scared, the stress of living outside, and also is your cage big? So many people say, oh, my cage is huge. It's like 4 square feet. My cage is huge. It's like this big. So please read through my free guinea pig care guide. They're in an outdoor cage, so it's wood and it's 2 floors. You know, if it's 2 floors and each floor doesn't have, a guinea pig cage should have a minimum 10 square feet uninterrupted cage space. Extra levels do not count. You want to give them a loft, something like that, that's fine. But having a multi-level cage where the main floor is less than 10 square feet, it's too small. Even if it's like 4 floors, if the largest floor is not 10 square feet, it's too small. So don't pee. Valerie's back. Mim says, is it okay to have a 2-month-old baby? 2 months old is hardly a baby anymore. In a cage side by side with another if they don't work out. Yes, that's fine. Side by side is better than nothing. If it's 12 square feet of uninterrupted cage space, then that's what? Probably 6 feet by 2 feet or 3 feet by 4 feet. Yeah, pets at home, that's for in the UK. But if it's outside, in general, even if you're giving your pig a nice 12-foot cage outside, I would bring it inside. I know people do things differently in the UK, but guinea pigs have been domesticated for 1,000 years. They should really be inside. They can be outside, supervised. We could have a long debate about this. The sunlight's good for them, but the wide open spaces, the exposure to fluctuations in temperature, humidity, parasites, pests, not great. This is Micah. we're going to end this video here in a few minutes. And you can start from the beginning and watch how I explain Micah's health scare. We've got a celebrity in our chat. The world famous Valerie from Valerie's Zoo is here. Who's my favorite bird, Weed Whacker or BB? Now, if you haven't seen and you want to see an old funny video from my channel from the way back, search Scotty's Animals Goose Love Affair, and that answers that question. Goose Love Affair. And I love BB. BB's my husband. Mary says, Val, did you receive something from the plush piggy? I'm confused because she is the plush piggy. Is that a secret? Megan asks a really good question. How do you deal with picky hay eaters? And I don't have to tell you, I can show you. Herbal blends. That's what I like. Take a pinch. This stuff ain't cheap. Take a pinch and put it in their hay, under their pellets. And all of a sudden their hay will smell like, let's get a whiff of this. Ooh, I'm smelling like mint and lavender. What is in here? Calendula, chamomile, dandelion, elderflower, flaxseed, goldenrod, hawthorn leaf, hibiscus flower, lavender, milk thistle, nettle, oat groats, green oat tops, plantain, raspberry leaf, red clover flower. Here, you want to smell it? Here, smell. Give it a sniff. Give it a sniff. I'm just at the very end. I need to get more. You don't smell it? You smell it? Here, smell. What do you think? Yes, I understand the idea of bringing your piggies in when it gets colder in the winter, but then you have to ask, well, if you have the space to put them inside in the winter, why wouldn't you just keep them inside? Oh boy. Oh boy. Bengal. Bengal. What, Bengal? Bengal. Is this what you're hearing? Bengal, you spread all of your hay out. What are you doing? You spread it all out. Ugh. I did not get a good view of the Northern Lights. The people who say that the Northern Lights were here in Joshua Tree lied. The people who got good pictures of the Northern Lights, they did long exposures, and you couldn't see anything. The night that was the biggest peak, I looked. I've got really dark skies here to the north. There was nothing. Now, I don't have good equipment to take long exposures, really, but I didn't see anything. And I was out there all evening looking. Well, we all have to deal with parents. Um, if there's a way that you get your parents to love your piggies, but not all parents are animal lovers. You ready to go home? You thirsty? You're a good boy. All right. Well, so I would say if the piggies have to be outside, then that means you just got to be extra diligent. Make sure there aren't any spiders or other crazy critters. Make sure the cage is extra clean, because something that you will have to deal with if or that you could have to deal with if the cage isn't exceptionally clean could be something like what's it called? What's the name of that? Where there's maggots. It's not pretty. But really, pests. Pests getting in the bedding. Fly strike, that's it. Fly strike. Okay, every 2 days should be plenty of time for anything that does get in there. I mean, it's not enough time for any eggs to turn into larvae. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. Because, man, fly strike is, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemies. Not that I have worst enemies. All right. When it comes to guinea pig cages, is there such a thing as too much space? For example, 10 by 13. Okay. I would say for piggies, a ginormous cage would be great for them to run around and play and hide. I think there certainly is a diminishing returns where if the cage is too big and it's too hard to clean, then that could be a problem. So as long as you're able to keep up with it. I mean, I think also that at a certain guinea pigs don't like gigantic wide open spaces. They are definitely gonna usually all guinea pigs are different. Their personalities will usually take precedent over any generalizations I would give, but in general, pigs like to hide under houses. So if you got a huge cage, like if you had a cage that was, I don't know, 100 square feet, but 100 square feet is 10 by 10. The center of that, if it doesn't have a place to hide, they probably wouldn't be out there. But the more space to run, the better. If you can keep the cage clean, then good. Hi, Kimberly. Guinea pigs are lazy by nature. Having space to run, most guinea pigs that run, guinea pigs that zoom, they usually do it like once or twice a day. Usually it seems to be in the morning and right around sunset. making sure they have the adequate space to do it is very important. Floor time can work for some piggies. Some piggies will just take it as an opportunity to hide behind things that you don't want them to get behind and then pee and poop. So those pop-up playpens are actually about 10 square feet in the round, and having it set up in a way where they can run around the circumference of it can be fun for them. Setting up two Midwests lengthwise can be a fun way for, and removing that middle grid so that it's not like something that they have to go through a small hole. I find that the racetracks that I've set up for Pipsqueak and for the other boys, they run. Pipsqueak, maybe that's why he's so spry. So maybe setting up a racetrack is an easy way. If you search Scotty's Animals, how to build a racetrack, I've got some videos about it. And if you look at the video Guinea Pig City, it shows it. So Robbie says, I'm the Keanu Reeves of the guinea pig world. What does that mean? Is that like Neo in the Matrix? I'm like the one. Guinea pig poops are coming at me at as fast as speeding bullets, and I go, no. And they stop in midair and fall to the ground, and I pick one and go, oh. Is that what you mean? Have I noticed guinea pigs becoming more skittish with age? In general, it's the opposite. In my experience. So what do you think, guys? Have we done it? Have we pulled it off? Have we answered all the questions? I know that this kid is ready to go and take a real nap. And I've got to get to my chores. I've got to make a little lunch. Get ready. But he's been pretty good. He hasn't looked painful today. Yes, in the UK it must be, I don't know, let's see, what time is it here? It is 3 o'clock. Yeah, 3 o'clock Pacific. So, I don't know, what are you guys, like 11 hours ahead? Gosh, I hope not. Yeah, it's 6 East Coast time. My guinea pig cage cleaning schedule is, how many cages are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cages in here. So I just try to clean the cages. Usually I'll have to clean 2, 3, 4 cages a day, depending. And if I keep up that schedule, then every 3 days, they're all cleaned. So you hear him, he's whimpering. So I'm going to have to clean his weenie. Make sure he's okay. Put some antibiotic ointment on there. Maybe start his Bactrim. There's like bumping going on outside. Hopefully it's just the military dropping bombs. Oh, now you want to eat a cookie. Good. So, oh, everybody loves me and everybody loves Keanu Reeves. Well, we'd like to think that. Yeah, I think pretty much everybody loves Keanu Reeves. What's not to love? He's one of those dudes that's basically like aging in reverse or aging at like a different rate. Just take a bite, yo. Take a bite. Okay, BB, what's your plan? You gonna take a nap? You gonna keep preening your feathers? What do I think of carrots as a daily snack? You know, it's funny. I just asked Valerie that the other day, and she gives her piggies a baby carrot every morning. So I think a small amount of carrot and I give BB carrot every day. I grind it up in his food, and I give the leftovers to my piggies that are out here. So I think a small amount of carrot every day is fine. But on the days when my piggies get carrot, everybody will get a big piece, like this, of full real carrot. So like a nice carrot. But every day I think a small piece, baby carrot. What is going on my glasses? So yeah, I think small amounts of carrot, totally fine. In fact, good for you because they have a lot of sugar. So a small amount of carrot, but it has beta carotene. It's got a lot of those, I don't know, what do you call them, polyphenols, those any bright colored fruit or vegetable is going to be good for you. Napoleon had mammary cancer surgery in January. He did beautifully, but is becoming increasingly more skittish with age. Check to see if it isn't possibly arthritis. During the mammary episode, was there an x-ray done? Can you revisit the x-ray to see if there isn't any arthritis? Hi, Sally. That would be my thing. I would say, is it skittish or is it maybe being uncomfortable? Is there something that's causing discomfort? Oh, you're chattering at me now. All right. Is it common for guinea pigs to need surgery? I wouldn't say common, but I would say just like people, some people in their lifetime will have surgery. I had appendicitis when I was 19. I think during the course of a long life, surgery is it's potentially possible. Some guinea pigs might need a lump removed. They might have a stone issue. They may have a mammary tumor. Is it common? I don't know if it's common, but it's definitely not unheard of. It's normal. It's a part of life. It's not unexpected for a guinea pig to have some kind of issue. And if you have pet health insurance, it can be a lifesaver. What do I think of hay kebabs? I think any chew treat like that is a novelty and can be enjoyed by piggies. It should never be a substitute for hay is their main diet for chewing. I think treats, chew toys, things like that, yes, if they're natural, if there's nothing that's harmful, or if they're put together in a way that isn't dangerous, you might try them and see if your piggies like them. Okay, this is a really great question to end up on. Mims11 asks just a quick question, and it makes me wonder if you have read through the bonding section of my care guide and watched the bonding rules. would it be recommended to get an older piggy for my 6-month-old male or a younger one, or it doesn't matter? Okay, bonding rules. There's only a 20% chance that any boy you put with, they're going to get along. Do not shop. Adopt a pig from a rescue. Find a rescue that will allow you to do no commitment play dates so that you can find the right match. The right match may be an older one, it may be a pig the same age. I would try, yes, at 6 months, that piggy's going to be as rambunctious as he'll ever be. So trying to pair him with an older boy might give you the best chances of finding a good match. Hi, Melissa. But it's also about chemistry and personality. So if you try enough piggies, you might end up finding one that's 6 months old that he gets along with. Remember, if you live in Northern Ireland and there are no rescues here, first of all, check out my rescue list. Maybe there is. Reach out to people in the guinea pig community there and see where they go. If you absolutely have no choice and you're just going to get a random guinea pig, then you've got to assume that they're not going to get along. And you have to be comfortable with them living side by side, having supervised play dates. So, Julie Peters, is a sissy animal rescue in Ireland? Question mark. Why did I say question mark? I responded like I'm chatting back. That's how all of us are going to start talking in the future. That's how Gen Alpha talks. Oh my God, peach emoji, poop emoji, exclamation point. And remember, sometimes it takes 5, 6, 7, 10 play dates. With Gary, I took him to the LA Guinea Pig Rescue 3 times. We did 5 different play dates, and it didn't work. Okay. Well, thank you, Julie. There you go, Mims. There are no rescues here. Yes, there are. So try that. Yes. Okay. Somebody asks, how do you get the emojis? You get them by being a channel member. Melissa, channel member for 2 months. It's always fun being part of Scotty's rescue efforts. What he does is amazing for the piggies, and I'm a patron subscriber as well. Thank you. Thank you. So that's what I would say. If you have the option to do play dates, keep doing them and don't give up. But then you have 2 choices. If he fails like 100 play dates and you just don't want to deal with it anymore, there is a 90% chance that bonding him with a baby will work initially. And then in my experience, it's about a 50% chance whether or not that baby will grow up, assert dominance. And the bond could break. So regardless, you have to assume that there's a chance, if you can't find a match, that that your 2 boys will have to live side by side. Give them each a minimum of 8 square feet. If they can live together, then a minimum of 10 square feet or more. Sherry says, would love to open up a shelter in Temecula. Would you consider mentoring? If you have the resources and the funds to open up a shelter, I would say first get involved with We Companions. They're about an hour away from you. They have an amazing shelter space, and they are struggling to raise funds and to find enough people to help. So learn the ropes with them. But if you started a rescue or a shelter and you needed me to help, I would be happy to. But of course, my free guinea pig care guide has all that information there for any potential um, rescue volunteers or staff to learn from. But I would also say develop a relationship with Fenella and the folks at We Companions, WEE Companions in San Diego. Learn from them. Learn about what it takes to run a shelter. Because it ain't easy. Yes, We Companions. I'm surprised that you haven't heard of them because I feature them a lot on my channel. And I share their stuff a lot on Instagram. In fact, they're having an open house on Sunday. So if you got the time, check them out. They are having an open house. And you can get to know everybody, see the animals. They have a raffle. And it's a fun time. So check them out. They do amazing work for the city of San Diego and surrounding areas. Okay, any last minute questions before we put a bow on this thing? Micah has got a nice pile of poop, and he's run out of his cookies. And BB, we got to get to work. So keep us all updated, Mims, about your journey finding a companion for your piggy. It's my pleasure, you guys. Of course, please message me through the contact page on my website if you have any specific questions. It's very important to me that I'm able to help and give individual guidance. Or if you have a happy story that you want to share, I love those as well. Melissa asks, I have a long hair piggy and I need to trim her. How do you do that without her moving? What I do is I take my piggies and I'll put them on a fleece on a table, and then you get clippers, like barber clippers, and you just go like a skirt around the base of them, and then either shave their butt with the clippers if there's knots, or you can use just some scissors. Yeah, keeping them occupied with treats can help. I would suggest parsley that has long stems so that they're chewing something without getting too much volume. A couple long stems. Shouldn't take that long with clippers. You just so, all right, guys. Remember, hay racks are back. The guinea pig hay racks are in the Etsy shop. Haley's in the house. Oh, okay. We're gonna gather our energy and get it together. A couple hours here before the sun goes down. Yeah, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Yes, I should have hay racks available indefinitely. There's like 70 more in the Etsy shop. If you go to a video, right where it says subscribe, it should say channel member. Thank you, I really appreciate that. Or you can also join the Patreon instead of becoming a channel member. They both work. Yes, Micah, it's just going to be a long-term thing. It's just going to be taking care of him and his special needs forever. And that's okay. Look at his ears. Okay, Micah. Micah's finally able to take a nap. All right, guys, it's been really fun. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. And until next time, BB, focus. Look at, I love when he does that. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, come on, Micah. Let's go.